What do you get when you cross a rhetorical question and a joke? "10 months. It's been 10 months since I posted a Let's Play of a map. Now, I could say that the delay is caused by the fact that I've been pretty busy lately, but I think I have something better to talk about. I've actually played quite a few puzzle maps here and there in my spare time, but I just didn't make a review for any of them because practically none of them had enough content or deliver on what they promised. I know there are good puzzle maps out there. I mean, I'm probably just unlucky in my selections, but the amount of these bad puzzle maps are definitely on the rise. Now, I'm not saying these maps are bad because they are low effort. In fact, I can tell you that most map creators actually put a decent amount of effort into their maps. And yes, this includes some of those find the button maps. So, if I'm not talking about the effort, what exactly do I mean by bad puzzle maps? Well, first things first, I never really thought about making a video on this issue, but when I ran into this map that had so much potential but fell short in quite a few areas, I decided I should probably talk about it. And what better way to kill two birds with one stone by using a map review? I mean, it probably take me like 20 stones before I can hit a flying bird unless it's a bird on the ground or something because it's like a dead bird, or a bird under anesthesia because it has a brain tumor and doctors are trying to save its life and it just ended its life by killing over stones of the parents of that bird. Are probably going to sue me for it, so I'm going to go broke because I'm going to have to pay them over $20,000, but I actually have to pay twice as much because I actually killed two birds. So, what exactly is Mind Facility? According to its creator, Mind Facility is a Minecraft map that is an original, hard, and exciting puzzle map that is also challenging and amazing. I don't know why I'm doing air quotes while I'm recording since you guys can't see me. Anyways, this map is moderately long. It took me around an hour to finish on my first playthrough and only 30 minutes on my second run. This map also has a lot of positive reviews. The website Minecraft 6 calls it one of the most intriguing puzzle maps to surface in recent times, and a user named Larsencraft commented saying, "This is the best map I ever played." There's also a website which states that the Mind Facility in Utrecht aims at analyzing and manipulating human brain cultures and has unique expertise in human iPS cells and cerebral 3D organoid culturing technology. So, after seeing all these sources giving positive reviews for the game, you might be wondering, should you play this map for all the fun puzzles and unique experiences? In my personal opinion, no. Nonetheless, if you haven't played this map and have an hour to spare, feel free to try it out and form your own opinions before we get onto my review and the next part of the video. It feels like there should be a commercial break here or something. I will be judging this map based on 4 criteria: originality, build, challenge, mechanics, and the overall experience. Now, the map maker branded this map as an original puzzle map, but what does that mean? It may seem complicated, but all we actually have to do is to use the relative inverse law of contrapositive thermodynamics, which tells us that the map should have original puzzles. And what original puzzles? When I was playing, I was astounded by the variety of original and puzzling challenges that I encountered, like parkour, mazes, parkour, and even parkour. Okay. In all seriousness, this map has some decently original challenges. The moving platform parkour is pretty interesting, and the bridge puzzle also has plenty of potential. That said, there's honestly more faults than merits in this map when it comes to its originality. The parkour sections in this map provide the exact kind of parkour you'd expect from a map that's supposed to be a puzzle map. There's nothing particularly interesting or new about them. They mostly act as filler in between sections and drag the game out for the sake of playtime. The 2 maze sections in this map are maze sections? Seriously though, does anyone actually like doing these? Sure, trying to solve a maze could be fun for the first time ever in your life, but after encountering a couple of mazes, all other mazes feel the same and the whole experience becomes pretty bland. For this reason, mazes should not be put in maps unless there's some new twist to it that can make it feel original. And yes, the first maze section requires the player to find the 5 clues hidden within it. And while that could be considered a twist, it just really means that the player has to reach at least 6 different locations to find all the clues and exit the maze. So congratulations, you basically have 6 mazes disguised as one. So this map isn't too original. There's nothing that hasn't been seen before, or at least provide a unique take on something that has been seen before. Because of this, I give the originality of the map a 4 out of 10. Oh, by the way, while I was making this video, I noticed something really strange. I was checking out the Code 2 by Jeopardy Theme and noticed he blatantly copied some of the puzzles in this map. You see the staircase from the Code 2? It's clearly a copy of this puzzle in Mine Facility. And this whole puzzle is inspired by another section of the map. And it's not just Jeopardy Theme. Even Alexander Bruce, the creator of Antechamber, had the exact same idea to shamelessly copy from this map. You see these 2 puzzles? They're exactly the same thing. I don't know. I think I should probably define what I mean by build in this section. I know that making a great and grand build isn't always possible or even necessary in some maps, but an attention to the architecture and layout is still important as its design can impact gameplay in many ways. So for this section, I'll mainly be judging how the build in this map assists the flow of the gameplay. First up, the main objective of this map is to complete the puzzles in 5 different branches, located here, 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 and... what? Oh right, it's all the way over... here. There's also an orange branch located where the blue key is found. But why? Like my script for this video, the branches are all over the place and there's no clear distinction between each section. Overall, it just feels like this branch layout was forced into the map because other, more popular maps also have branches. However, in those maps, branches are usually either used to provide a sense of progress or group similar challenges together in an organized way. This map doesn't either. Okay, there might be a small sense of progress, but whatever little satisfaction the branch system gives does not justify its existence because of how the system is established throughout the map. The challenges and branches in the map are scattered throughout the build and suggest to the players some sense of exploration, encouraging them to wander around the map to find the steps necessary to complete each branch. But at the same time, the progression of the map follows a fairly linear path. The player is required to complete the branches in a specific order: green, red, yellow, blue, and orange. Oh, there's another one. This takes away all the freedom that the map implies on its first impression and causes even more problems when players aren't clearly informed of where they should go next. Sometimes, after completing a task, the player will have no idea where to go next because of a lack of indication of the correct path, which causes the entire experience to be unnecessarily confusing. Honestly, if this whole map was challenges lined up in a hallway, it wouldn't be any worse. In fact, it'd probably be even better since players will always know the location of their goal for each step and will never accidentally be forced to play through a section more than once. And on the topic of something that happens more than once, what's the deal with map makers and non-Euclidean structures? In case you don't know, when I refer to non-Euclidean structures, I'm talking about structures that are impossible to exist in a physical world. Something like this hallway that I built a while ago. Like every other map building technique, non-Euclidean structures can be used to enhance the experience. But in this case, you probably expect what I'm gonna say. It makes the experience unnecessarily confusing. It is understandable to use seamless teleportations to connect one room to another for the convenience. However, when you fill a map with impossible hallways and corridors, it makes it very difficult for players to ground themselves and navigate through the structure of the map. Unless the focus of your map is on navigating confusing hallways, which it really shouldn't be, non-Euclidean structures should never be more apparent than the actual content that the players opened up the map for. Whew, this section is getting pretty dry. So here's a picture of a fish like I promised in the last video. Get it? Because fish lives in water, and water is wet. Sorry, that joke was too corny. On a purely visual level of the map, there is nothing too exciting, but also nothing that takes away from the experience. It's the same old tried and true formula of building with quartz. However, something about the build that actually slightly impressed me was the consistent theming of water throughout the map. The first challenge that the player encounters introduces the idea of water to get past a large gap of lava, and this exactly parallels what the player will be doing for the rest of the map, finding and opening a complex system of water valves to get past another large gap of lava. So even though the layout of the challenges are, to put it bluntly, unacceptable by conventional puzzle map standards, the player can still find some solace in these rooms that remind them that their efforts are actually building up to something important. Well, this is Minecraft, so as important as a Minecraft map can be. With that said, there are still problems in the theming on some parts of the map. For some reason, other than sticking with the clean quartz look throughout the map also has some theme based around darkness, corruption, I don't really know. I mean, sure, these black blocks serve as a cool gimmick to confuse and disorient the players, and they are used properly like so in some parts of the map, but when ambiguous themes are forced into the map to try to explain the existence of these blocks, it only worsens the experience for the players. It should be obvious that after loading up this puzzle map and playing through the first few minutes, that players won't be expecting a full-fledged story or even anything that would make sense from a narrative perspective. But when something like this is added haphazardly to imply that something bigger is going on, it only lets the players down by making them ask questions that the map is never intended to answer. So overall, the map uses a lot of techniques that work really well in other maps. The way things like the branch system, the non-Euclidean structure, and the black blocks are incorporated shows map making finesse, but stops the map from reaching its full potential. I give the build of this map a 10 out of 20. Is this map difficult like it was promised to be? I would say yes. Difficulty measures how much effort it takes to complete a task. For example, trying to roll a die so that you get 20 ones in a row is difficult, and in the same way, it is difficult to navigate through the map and find the steps required to reach the end goal. But what is challenging? There's a reason why I named this section Challenge instead of Difficulty. A game that is challenging has to be difficult, of course, but the difficulty should change based on the skill of the player. Because rolling a die to get a certain result is solely based on luck, it can only be difficult and not challenging. So what does this mean for Mine Facility? Well, it's not a challenging map. You see, most of the difficulty in the map occurs because of how the end goal for each section is hidden. Because of this, players can only stumble upon the solution to solve each obstacle they encounter. And the thing is, this experience isn't rewarding. The players are not being recognized for any of their skills when all they're doing is getting lucky and finding a hidden button, exit to a maze, a secret path, and so on. Oh, and the parkour sections? It really seems like they're just added as map fillers, like I said before, to extend the playtime and were either easy or frustrating. Not because they're difficult, but because they really test your patience. Just, nobody likes lava parkour, okay? So for this section, I give the challenge of the map a 4 out of 10. Alright, let's start this section with a simple exercise which also serves as a metaphor. Here, you have 10 seconds to find as many cows as possible in this image. Time's up. Now, let me explain the metaphor. Pretend that this image is the map Mine Facility and the cows are puzzles. What does this say about the map? There are no goddamn puzzles. Okay, that was a bit of an over-exaggeration, but it's honestly not too far from the truth. Remember that issue I mentioned vaguely about the problems of Minecraft puzzle maps today? This is mostly what I'm talking about. The fact that lots of puzzle maps out there have these challenges that somewhat resemble real puzzles, but aren't really qualified to be one. If you Bing the definition for puzzles, you'll find that why in the world are you using Bing? If you Google the definition for puzzles, you'll find that a puzzle is something that tests a person's ingenuity, knowledge, or the ability to think logically. This means that a puzzle has to have an established set of rules or just predictable behaviors so a player can apply what they know to solve the puzzles. Now, let's take a look at one of the challenges in this map and see if it fits this criteria. Let's see... Okay, around the middle of the map, we can encounter a diverging path, one colored green and the other colored red. If we try to walk down the green side, we come back to the same place, and if we walk down the red path, the same thing happens. So how do you get out of this place? You turn around and walk into a wall. I don't know about you, but I don't feel ingenious after solving this. Most of the time, players would just walk backward and stumble upon the solution by accident, unless you've seen the puzzle somewhere else before. Now, speaking of the occurrence of this puzzle somewhere else, you might say something like, hey, but this puzzle is an antechamber, and that's deemed to be one of the best puzzle maps of all time. First, you sound like an idiot who's trying to pretend to sound like someone else. And second, this puzzle is a lot more polished than antechamber. There are signs that appear over time that give you cryptic hints, and the path back is not blocked by a wall. And not to mention, the purpose of this puzzle in antechamber is to communicate what the whole game will be about, questioning everything you do, and lots of non-Euclidean geometry. And that's why this puzzle appears near the beginning of the game in antechamber rather than in the middle and out of place, like in this map. So overall, I wouldn't call this challenge a puzzle, maybe generously something like half a puzzle. To see how much of this whole map is actually a puzzle, we can go through all the significant challenges a player will find in this map and look to see if each of them completes the criteria. When I went back and played this map again, I found 15 major challenges, and checking to see which one fit the requirements for a puzzle map reveals a grand total of 3 puzzles. The rest are either parkour or just things you solve accidentally. You might disagree with me on some of these ratings, so feel free to leave a comment below if you want to hear my in-depth reasoning for any of them. But think about this, even if my results have 100% uncertainty, meaning that there are potentially actually 6 puzzles, 6 out of 15 still doesn't look too good when you call your map an exciting puzzle map. So, I think I covered every aspect of this map in this review. Overall, there are many things in this map that feel out of place and... Oh right, the boss fight. I almost forgot about that. It's really hard to describe how awesome this boss fight is, so just take a look at this footage while I play some overused action music.
Welcome to my mine. We are mining diamonds. We are not a strip mine. We don't have to fry mobs. Welcome to my mine. Play that notebook nicely. Show me all those emeralds. We don't gotta dodge lava.
Wait, did I say awesome? I meant awful. Sorry, my mistake. The reason why I chose to save off of talking about this boss fight until now is because I believe the experience of playing it accurately reflects the experience for the rest of the map. First, it doesn't feel like anything new. It's an aspect of the map that is added just for flair because of the misconception that the more you add to a map, the better it has to be. The theming is also very incoherent. There was no dialogue or anything that warrants a conflict with the boss at the end of the map, unless you count those black blocks as foreshadowing, which I wouldn't. Furthermore, it's more difficult than challenging. Yes, aiming correctly to hit the critical buttons takes skill, but the buttons are placed far away enough for the random deviation of the shots to cause it to have a chance to miss, even if you aim correctly. Additionally, it's not a puzzle. This is the final challenge in an exciting puzzle map, and it still isn't a puzzle. So, overall, this map tries to be everything except a puzzle map, and ends up as a mess. A conglomerate of confusing things that would work really well in their own maps, but don't work well with each other. And for this reason, I'm out. I mean, I give the overall experience a 4 out of 10. And it's time for the final score. Since the scoring categories are slightly different than what I used last time, I'll be using a revised formula as shown on the screen right now. And the final score I give to this map is 4 out of 10. There is genuine potential in this map. The build, the puzzles, and the challenges are all on the brink of something that would make for a great experience. In fact, the only reason why I chose to review this map was that it was the most decent one out of all the other maps. And I think that's the problem with most Minecraft maps today. So far, all we are getting is just a stream of passable maps that barely count as entertainment. So, I hope that this video at least gives you a small direction of what you should do or should not do if you're a map maker. And more importantly, what we, the regular players of Minecraft maps, should expect and demand from our maps. There is no reason to just accept mediocrity if we have the opportunity to make improvements to what we love. And with that, don't forget to check out the map maker Horizon Fear and their original Minecraft maps. I've put a link in the description that would do absolutely nothing, but also a link that links to their channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can catch the next time I release a video 2 years later. And that's about it. Tune in next time for a video of an electric wind turbine. Bye!